Hello. I'll wait for everyone to join. Hi everyone. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Speaking of Labor Day, I hope you got to catch that video that Pornhub just put out, starring Johnny Sins. I won't give too much away because I think it's just hilarious, but Johnny Sins is obviously the most, he's had the most careers in the world. That's all I'll say. So yeah, definitely go check that out on Pornhub's Instagram. Anyway, how are you doing today? Welcome to the show. This is Just the Tip. I'm your host, Asa Akira, and today's guest is Jane Wilde. This is a show where every week I am joined by another porn star and we answer your sex questions that you've submitted via Instagram stories. And we also give out our friendly porn star tips and advice. Disclaimer, these little tidbits of information, these gems that we give you are not based on science or facts or any of that boring shit. They are based on our experience as porn stars. So keep that in mind if you try to employ them in your personal life. Before we're joined by Jane, I always like to start the show by addressing one question that is overwhelmingly asked. Today, I want to answer the question of, how do I have sex on my period? So in porn, you know, it's not always easy to avoid your period. I remember when I first got into the business, I was like, I'm never gonna fucking shoot my period. Fuck that. Like, I don't even want to deal with any of that. But you know, it's really, really hard to schedule around your period that way, especially if you're not like completely regular. So we have a little trick in porn that we all use pretty much. You'll be hard pressed to find a porn star that does not know this trick. We take a makeup sponge. So you know those like, I wish I had one, but I don't. You know those triangular makeup sponges to apply your foundation. It's like a beauty blender, but a disposable one, and they're like these little triangle wedges. You can buy them at like Target or CVS, literally anywhere. And we take that and we either cut it in half or use the whole thing. And we just stick it up our vagina as far as our finger will let us push it. And that plugs your period for like, that'll buy you like a couple hours, depending on how heavy your period is. But it really, really, really works. A lot of people like to douse that sponge in lube. I don't, I just put it in as is. Yeah, and like you definitely want to remember to take it out, or else it's just like you don't want to forget to take it out. Also, to take it out, it can get a little bit hard, so or difficult. So the easiest way I found is you stick two fingers up and you claw it out like this, if that makes sense, like that, and pinch it out like that. So that is how to have sex on your period. Also, of course, if you're having sex on your period at home, I find that most guys don't even care. Just like lay a towel down. So if you're like in a relationship and it's cool like that and it's like past the awkward phase, I would definitely put that as your number one choice. But a makeup sponge works great. You just don't want to forget about it or leave it in too long. All right, let's see if Jane is ready to join us. Her Instagram account is at wilde sexual. That's WILDE sexual _ I can't find her. Sometimes when our guest is shadow banned, it's actually like really hard to find them. Okay, Jane, if you're watching right now, can you do me a favor and comment here? And then I'll invite you that way. In moments like this, I'm always like, am I on the right account? Wild. The fuck? If she's super shadow banned, I might not even be able to see her comment. That happened once with, oh, okay, here we go. She's here. I'm gonna go live with her.
I'm
Hey!
here. Hi.
Oh my god, look at you in your glasses. You look so smart.
Thank you. I can see my reflection. I'm gonna take them off.
I
I
mean,
was like,
we
I was
are
trying to be
educating
cute with
people
it.
today.
What was that?
I said we are educating people today, so.
Yeah, exactly. I want to put on my like smart looking glasses so people take me seriously for once.
I definitely I use glasses when I'm like on the computer all day, and it makes me feel a lot smarter when I'm wearing them.
Yeah, because you're like, I don't know how else to describe it, but you just like you have your thinking caps
Yeah.
on.
I'm smart.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to answer these questions with me?
I would love to. I'm wondering if it's just gonna be like the regular run of the mill stuff or some more interesting questions.
I mean, no. We definitely have a lot of questions that are like run of the mill, like anytime, anytime we put out a call for like sex questions on any kind of platform, the questions are always like, number one is like, can I see your boobs? Like that's
Of
always,
course.
will you marry me?
Of course you
And
can see my
then,
boobs.
and then it's
Yeah.
always like, I don't know. Trust me, you'll see. These are not run of.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm excited.
Okay, question number one. Do you have any tips on getting a girl if you aren't rich, 6 foot tall, with a hammer in your pants? So basically, I think what this person is asking is, do you have any tips on how to talk to a girl if you're not maybe like the most physically attractive guy
Yeah.
and you don't have a huge penis, or like any maybe not like a main selling point?
Yeah. Well, this person did not mention one of the main selling points for a majority of people, which is winning personality. And it actually goes a long way when you're having a conversation with someone to not be like a douchebag or boring as fuck. Like, if you know how to hold a conversation, that's how you get to know someone. And that's, how you eventually get to have sex with someone, is like you building a connection. So I think, yeah, if you're not the most attractive person, it's all just about your confidence in yourself, which you should try to have some because you have other things about you besides your looks that matter.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll work out. There's somebody for everybody. Somebody will
For
see something
sure.
good in you.
For sure. And yeah, like I would say like looks are, for me, it sounds so cliche to the point where I think it almost like sounds fake, but like looks are so secondary. Like I feel like more so, I think guys put more value on a girl's looks than girls put on a guy's.
And I think girls put more value on their looks than guys even do. I think we're all just like so in our own heads and we notice how we look, so we think everybody else. Like right now I have a fucking huge pimple right there and I tried to cover it with makeup and I did not do a good job. And I feel like everyone's looking at it, but the truth is most people probably didn't even notice it till I just said something.
Yeah, and now we're all looking.
Yeah, now you're all looking at it. So it's like don't worry so much about the looks on the outside because yeah, it is secondary for a lot of people. It's like it's more about if you can fuck. It's not about having a huge hammer. It's like if you know how to use your whatever sized hammer, then it'll work out.
Also, like, there's a lot. I mean, I say this all the time, but there's a lot more to sex than like just your penis. Like,
Of
even if you have a
course.
micro penis, you can give someone an amazing sexual experience.
Of
Like,
course.
you have mouth, you have hands, you
What
have
is
your whole
lesbian sex?
hello,
Like
yeah.
lesbians don't use toys all the time. Like it's not only about penetration. And I think people forget that sometimes because they're just like, oh my God, like I want to have sex, but they don't think about how good it can be if you just like ease into it a little bit, like do
Yeah.
all the stuff, really enjoy yourself. It's not like
Also,
so
like,
serious.
I kind of feel I found that like a lot of times I'll think a guy is just like absolutely fucking gorgeous, and he'll be like, I don't know, like a trainer at Barry's boot camp or something, like
Yeah.
someone who's like just like conventionally gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes I find that those people are actually like such duds when it comes to their personality because they've probably relied on their good looks for their whole
It's it's so true, and I
It's a
feel
deal
that
breaker.
as somebody who grew up not the most attractive teenager in the world, which is like who is, but then some people actually are. So like, but I
Yeah.
wasn't. So now I feel like I've come into myself a little bit, but I've been on both sides of the fence, of the
Do
side
you,
like
that's
people
that's
don't pay
the best
attention
case
and the
scenario.
side when they do.
The best case scenario is like a guy that's like kind of hot, but in a way that's like not obvious. Like you
Mm-hmm.
think he's hot, but maybe other people don't.
Yeah, it's
And
like it's
he
your
like
secret.
yeah, and like he grew up like not cute at all, so he
Mm-hmm.
had to like work on his personality. That's like
Yeah. I,
the
I
dream.
almost get like intimidated around guys that are like too perfect. Like if a guy's body is too perfect, I find myself, I don't know, not even, well, yes, intimidated, but also just like turned off a little bit just because like this is going to sound stupid, but I feel like some people will relate. I work out maybe twice a week and I do not eat well. I don't put that much effort into the way I look. So when I see someone who does, I'm just like, we don't have that much in common. And I give up.
Yeah, no, I think that's actually like really, really true. Even a lot of the guys in porn are like the like gym is life, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. It's a mix. There's some guys that are like, never been to the gym in my life. And
Yeah.
there's guys that are in the gym every day of their life, and you can
Yeah.
tell not the difference just by their looks, but also like you could tell in their attitude, like what
Hmm.
they think of themselves. But
So
yeah.
this next question is kind of a little bit related, but not
Okay.
really. Um, the question is it possible to get out of the friend zone? And part two to that question is how can you avoid getting into the friend zone in the first place? I think this answer is probably different for every girl.
Mhm.
Personally, I'm someone like, once you're in the friend zone, you're not really going to come out of it. That being said, we might have sex.
Mhm.
Like,
I
we're
think
not
that's
going to
what
fall
people
in love.
consider getting out of the friend zone. They don't. Well, I feel like that's what I don't really even like that term because it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have one definition. Like everybody thinks the friend zone is like a different thing. Some people think like they want to be with that person in a relationship and not be friends. Some people are like they want to hook up with that person and not be friends. But either way, you're friends. So you're
Mm-hmm.
in a better position than like majority of the billions of people in the world. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like people are so, worked up sometimes about like, I want to be with this person. I'm in the friend zone and being so upset and bitter about it. When
Mm-hmm.
really it's like, if you just take a little step back and from a different perspective, like the person that you want to be with or you want to have sex with, like you're already friends with them. You're already closer than so many people to
Mm-hmm.
them. And if it happens, it happens. But like to say that someone put you in some type of zone, like maybe they just want to be friends with you and they're not even thinking of you like that. Like, so yeah,
I think yeah, that's actually the annoying thing about the term friend zone is like it always refers to like a woman's talking about a man, right? Like
yeah,
like women don't get put into the friend zone. But
not
like it also like it implies that like it's weird for us to like want to
to want to
just
be
friends
friends
with
with a guy
like
and just
that's the
be
default
friends.
anything.
Like it has to be sexual or romantic in some way because we're a woman. And I
Mm-hmm.
just disagree with that. It's like, well, I like to have sex with my guy friends just because like if we can't be on that vibe, like we don't really have to be friends, but I have a couple people that I'm just like we don't need to have sex. Like, we're totally good.
So
Just
you're saying like you're someone is like if you're in your friend zone, you're fucking.
sometimes, like, but yeah, I'm really into the friend with benefits type relationship where we are buddies and then we have sex, but it's like separate and it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
intertwine. But a lot of people are not into that, even people in the porn industry. And I've realized that a lot of people say that they are,
Mm-hmm.
but multiple guys that I have started things like that with, we became two good friends and then they didn't want to fuck me anymore because they saw me as like, you know, a little sister. And I'm just like, how?
But wait, are you talking about guys in porn?
Yeah,
You know
just
what? That's
guys here and there.
guys in porn. I wouldn't like put them in the category of like your average Joe Schmo because guys in porn have like weirdness when it
Yeah.
comes to sex.
I don't hang out with Joe Schmoes. Like, I really haven't like fucked or dated or even talked to a non-porn person since I started.
Yeah.
Because it's like I don't want to deal with the negative.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love my job, I love my life, and
Mm-hmm.
it's mostly positive, and I don't want to have to deal with like one of the negative parts, which is like dating and trying to like explain to people and taking the chance that they will or won't be okay with it. It's like it's just too much stress for me. I rather just stay with people that I know don't give a fuck about that thing.
For sure. Also, like, you know, within the industry, like we're tested all the same way, so
Yeah,
that
it's just
like a
easier.
lot less awkward.
And you don't, it's like it's just taking less of a risk, not just with STDs, obviously, but like wasting my time or
Yeah.
having a negative experience. Because with a regular Joe Schmo, like you don't know how they fuck. There's no videos of like their strokes. Like,
There's no
you
resume
know,
on Pornhub.
it's possible to not really be good at sex. And I think a lot of guys, what they do is they watch a certain type of porn and then they think like, oh, okay, that's how you fuck, but then they're not good at it, so it
Mm-hmm.
comes off really not good. And it's like, I think everyone should just do their own thing. And I forgot
Mm-hmm.
what the question was. I was like going on a tangent.
It was how to avoid the friend zone.
It was about the friend zone. So the answer is, I don't know what your
It
definition
sounds like
of friend zone
it sounds
is.
like your answer is don't avoid it.
Yeah, I mean, like, whatever happens, happens. Like, but don't treat it as like always something that you want to get out of or treat
Mm-hmm.
it as like a negative thing because it can be
Also, like,
positive.
also I feel like also the answer could be like don't try to get out of it because like maybe if all she wants to be is your friend, then respect that.
Yeah, that's the most you're gonna get. You should be fucking grateful that you're getting the friendship of the person. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I hate when we're deduced just to like our sexuality and the way
Mm-hmm.
we fuck. It's like we're cool people as well to be friends with. At least I think I am. My friends in porn are cool people beyond fucking. So I wish other people would just give that part a chance sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, okay, next question. Okay, I don't. This is a very, I
Okay,
feel scientific question.
scientific.
But I think we should talk about it.
Okay, I'm smart.
And I feel like disclaimer, we might get worse advice here.
Okay.
But the question is ass to mouth safe? Okay,
Okay.
I'll go first while you think about it.
I already know my answer, but you go
It's
first, Asa.
it's not this.
Well,
It's no.
good at
Like,
it.
the short answer is no.
Yeah. No.
Like honestly, you're not supposed to do it.
Inherently, when
And
you really think about what you're doing, like,
like
no, it's not good.
it's like
You know?
trained to E. coli.
Yeah, but
But that being said, we like pretty much everyone I know does it. I do it. I enjoy it. I kind of it's not that I like the risk factor, but to me what makes ass to mouth so exciting is that it's like fucking disgusting and like I don't know, it's like a little taboo and naughty, right?
it's definitely taboo. What I like about it is that it's so nasty, and when I do it on camera, like I don't really do that in my personal. I don't do much anal in my personal life. Disclaimer. But when I do it on camera, knowing that not only are the people in the scene turned on by it, the guy usually especially, because it's like his
Yeah.
dick, but the people watching at home, they get really turned on by, like you said, the risk factor, the naughtiness, and
Yeah.
they don't know that maybe they know, but they're not really thinking about the fact that we spent 3 hours earlier today cleaning out our
So
colon.
that's what I wanted
There's
to
not
add as
shit.
well.
Yeah.
It's like in a porno, when you see us doing ass to mouth, like in a porno, like we've been cleaning our asses, some of us, for like the last 24 hours.
And not
like,
eating,
not,
so there's
not
nothing
eating.
in your system that's gonna
Yeah.
get there.
Like whatever, every porn star I would say has a different system, but whatever that system is, we're sure we're clean.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing we want to do is get messy in a porno. Like that's
It's
like
one of the worst things that could happen. And obviously, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that it's never happened to me, because I don't know a single girl who does anal that it's not happened to at one point. Like, especially when they're really like hammering your
yeah.
asshole, like it's like a plunger. Just imagine like, and then oh my god, yeah, I'm just thinking the
So
memory.
maybe on a day like that, don't do ass to mouth. But
Yeah,
so the answer is no, it's not safe.
but if you take the proper precautions, like cleaning out really, really well, and afterwards, what can you do afterwards? I know if you do ass to pussy, you can do like a hydrogen peroxide or an iodine douche, and that will help get the bacteria out. But for ass to mouth, I think just clean out really good. Like
Mhm.
don't let there be anything weird that will go in your.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Like even ass to pussy is not safe either. I love ass to pussy.
I
Like
do, yeah, I do it frequently. I do it
it's
every
it's like
single day.
it's like going from sweet to savory over and over at a buffet. Like it's just like you could do it forever
I
because
love it.
you
And
forget how good the other one feels every time you're doing it. It's
I
incredible.
feel I feel comfortable doing it because it's like you have to trust yourself. It's like
Mhm.
you're doing anal, you're doing a hardcore anal scene, me usually, and you. It's gonna be a lot of pounding, and you want to do the best scene possible. So it's like you really need to be like, I'm an adult. I'm
Mhm.
doing a scene that is a risk to my health, and I need to take every precaution. Like if you're an Olympian or an athlete, you take the proper precautions. You eat right, you sleep well, you treat your body right. We
Mhm.
have to take the precautions so we don't get sick. And
Right.
99% of the time, it's worked for me.
Same. Same. Like
So,
I feel like none of my methods that I do, like when I go ass to pussy, I'll always douche afterwards.
same.
Just in case, even though I feel like my ass is really clean, like I'll still douche just to like
Yeah.
be safe.
You
And
can
like
get rid of
while
all
I
the
can't
bacteria.
sit here and be like, listen, it's scientifically a fact that I can't even say it's on Google that that works, but in my personal experience of 12 years of doing porn,
Hmm.
it's worked. I haven't gotten a UTI after going ass to pussy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there you go. um, what is the perfect meal for before sex? And like, this is probably not, I don't think that this person is definitely not in porn. Like, they're not asking, like, what do you eat on set or like, what do you eat before you go to a scene?
Yeah.
I think I'm imagining that this person is probably asking, like, you're on a first date or whatever number date, you're gonna have sex that night. What's like a good meal to have? I don't know if this is coming from a boy or a girl, but I will say, like, I'm pretty good about eating, and like I don't like to eat a heavy meal before sex.
I
I
was
know
about to
people who
say
don't care.
that. I would
Yeah,
rather
like
eat after and smoke weed,
totally.
and like pig out, because I feel like after sex, it's like all these endorphins are released and you just feel really good. And eating a really good meal would just like add to that pleasure. Versus,
Also, eating a really good meal before sex, I feel like
it's
after a really
good.
good meal, like I'm not gonna give you like
No,
the
I
perfect
don't want to have
experience.
sex after. I want to lay down and
Yeah,
relax. Like,
yeah. If anything, I want someone to like rub my belly.
yeah, I don't like to eat a lot before sex, even on set. Like, sometimes I don't eat breakfast just because, like, the
Mhm.
truth is, I don't want to fart. Like, farting is not sexy to me unless it's like an anal scene, and you know what I mean? Like, farting because you have to poop
Unless
is
it's an
not
anal.
sexy to me.
I think it's so true. Also, like a lot of times the catering, like especially when I used to like work for Wicked, where like the crew is really big. A lot of times the catering will be like rice and beans for breakfast, and it's like, are
For
you insane?
breakfast, nice. They don't even have like crazy catering like that anymore, but they have like unhealthy snacks usually. I'm like, great, I'll eat like some Lay's potato chips and peanut butter before my.
Also, I will say, like, for me anyway, like, I've noticed that whenever I eat something really liquidy, like, whether it's just drinking something or eating soup, like, I feel like when I'm getting fucked really hard, you can hear the liquids in my stomach
You're
moving,
sloshing around.
and
It's
it
gross
totally
to me.
takes me out of the moment. Like, because all I can think about is, like, oh my God, this noise is insane.
You know, like when you're going to kiss someone and you get really close and your throat, it's not like a burp or a hiccup, it's like your throat just makes like that weird, like,
Gurgle.
yeah, and you're like right in someone's face. It's, yeah, things happen with our bodies. What was the question again? I completely forgot.
I mean, it doesn't. What's the best meal to eat before
Oh,
sex?
okay. I
But
mean,
both of us say
so
like eat.
the answer is nothing. No meal. Wait till after.
Yeah, I definitely would prefer to not eat that much before sex.
If I have to, like something light, like pretzels and like hummus or something. I don't know. It's a good
Yeah.
snack to me.
Okay, this is the question that also I think will be very different depending on who you ask.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is, and this gets asked so much. What's the best way to treat the clit? I think there's a lot of confusion because I know it's like this could be like a whole fucking episode, but like I think first of all, I think the most important thing to know is that the clit is really sensitive and everyone likes it handled a little bit differently. Like some people like it really hard and some people like it really soft. I like it like right above my clit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like when that's played with, like almost like where the hood is. Because my clit is so sensitive, like I don't like it like pushed on directly.
My
Yeah.
pet peeve is when a guy or a girl, but I'm gonna single out guys right now because guys don't have clits, so they don't know how they like their own clit played with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I feel like girls are a little bit more conscious of this, but I don't like when they go in there and they just start doing their thing without even like,
Building it up.
they don't even think about what do I like when it comes to that. And that can ruin the experience. If somebody starts like playing with it like it's a fucking buzzer, sometimes I like that, sometimes I don't. But it's the fact that like if you do something that I don't like because you didn't even bother to ask,
Yeah.
that turns me off.
I think the safe, like one safe universal piece of advice to like in how what's the best way to treat the clit is like I think if you start off slow and just kind of watch their face and then based on that go harder or continue going soft, you're good. Because if you go in hard right away, like half the people aren't gonna like that.
I agree, and it's better to start slow. And if you guys are communicating, which you should be communicating in any sexual encounter, it should never be completely silent, in my opinion. They will either tell you like, yeah, keep going like that, or hopefully like direct you in some way, and just listen and communicate. And there's nothing wrong with saying, how does that feel? Do you like that? Because
you know what's one thing that like I've noticed girls do to clits a lot, but guys don't really know about this trick a lot is like if you get like a really thick piece of spit on your thumb and just like rub the clit so gently.
Yeah, it's so sensitive.
Oh, it's so sensitive, and like the trick is to get it really wet.
Yeah.
It feels and I feel like I think I might have yet to come across a woman that like isn't crazy about
Doesn't
that.
go crazy over that, right? Because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, it's like, even if we all like it slightly different, it's the same organ, it's the same body
Mhm.
part, same amount of nerves. Like, we all know the clit is the key to orgasm. Like,
Mhm.
with my Hitachi, it's like I'm so spoiled. The fact that I can have so many clitoral orgasms, like 6 in like 5 minutes, it's like, I I was saying this yesterday. I was like, I feel like if women had that ability to come so easily throughout like hundreds of years of history, history would have been so different. We would have voted way earlier. We would have been like, no, I'm not going to be a housewife. No, I'm not having kids. Like, it's like I
If
don't
we
think
would
we
have
need
been
it.
empowered much sooner.
Things would have progressed if we knew this power that our bodies could hold. Because
I also feel
female
like I love
orgasms.
it, but like I feel like it's so strong that like it kind of like numbs me in a way.
Yeah,
Like
but
it's
I like that numbing
almost
feeling.
oh, it's too much for me.
Yeah.
But see, different.
Everyone's
I
different. I have like a really specific method. Sometimes if my mind is too distracted, I need to be really clear-headed to like actually get to orgasm by myself. But once I'm there the first time, it's like my pussy's throbbing and I'm like, we're in this bitch, and I'm not leaving until I am satisfied.
it's true. I know exactly what you mean. Also, I think I mentioned this on the show before, but like I have this weird thing where like sometimes if I use a vibrator, like it makes me really depressed. And not because of a thought and not because I'm thinking like, oh, I'm using a vibrator, how depressing. Nothing like that. There's something like physical about a vibrator that like makes my serotonin drop or something. Like it's really
That's
weird.
crazy. That's
And it
unfortunate.
happens if I'm alone.
Is it the lack of like intimate contact?
No, I don't think it's anything logical like that. I think it's really physical and like chemical.
That's
It's
interesting.
weird. I also
History.
have this thing where like if someone sucks on my nipples too hard,
I don't like
the
that.
same happens. I get like super depressed for like 60 seconds. It's so weird. I feel maybe they're related. If anyone out there also has
Who
these
else
things,
has this
you know,
problem, please? Like,
yeah.
well, you're probably like, I'm sure somebody watching has experienced that, and they're like, oh, this porn star like experiences that, so I'm not alone or whatever.
I hope so.
We
I
help
had to do a
people.
lot of Googling to like
Yeah.
even see that it was a
They're like,
thing.
why do I get depressed when my nipples get sucked too hard? Like,
Well, when I looked it up, it was called something. It was called like D something. I forget. But there was no explanation for it, like a phenomenon.
that's so weird.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
really care about my nipples getting touched at all. That's not one of my like pleasure points.
me
They're
neither.
just for show.
Yeah, same.
It's cool.
Oh.
They are.
They're just decoration.
Yeah, because I don't really want children, so it's like they're not gonna have milk, so they're really just for show. Like,
What I mean, it's like a beautiful pair of earrings.
it's definitely a beautiful pair of earrings. I love my earrings.
All right, next question. What is the best place to have sex besides the bedroom?
Besides the bedroom, like,
I have to say, because you and I are in porn, I think we probably appreciate bed sex more than the average person. Because in porn, like, I mean, like a kitchen counter is like hot, but honestly,
no,
it's
it's not
not
at
comfortable on
all.
knees. The granite hurts. Like,
Maybe it's comfortable for the guy fucking because he's just standing there, but like you have these things on your back called like I don't
vertebrae.
yeah, or something. It's not like your tailbone that's in your butt cheeks, but like those two bones like in your lower back that like
Oh,
yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know
Those get really, really sore. And I have to tell people like I got serious damage in my neck and my spine from working in these weird locations like on a rock or on the floor or on a chair, like a tiny fucking chair where you can't even fit, and it's like it's all for the viewing pleasure, but if I have to pick somewhere other than the bedroom, like obviously a comfortable couch is
yeah.
on like a living room or something, and then after that we can just wait until we can get to one of those two things otherwise.
I'm trying to think, like, aside from, because yeah, I agree, couch is an obvious second. I think actually somewhere that's like really underrated, and maybe you'll understand this because you're from New York, but like growing up, I had a lot of elevator sex.
Oh, really?
Because like, when you're growing up in New York, like all the boys you hook up with like live in a tiny ass little apartment where their room is like right next to their parents, and like, it's not like nobody lives in a house in New York. So we
I
had to
lived in
get
a house, but it was like an attached house. I lived in Queens.
and stop the elevator. And elevators are a great place to have sex because they usually have that bar going around.
Yeah.
And it's a great place to like put your leg up and hang on to, and like, so maybe
I've never had elevator sex. I was just one of those people that like, yeah, my parents were home, but I did not care. And I would just have guys come over and like come up to my room and like fuck. I even fucked in my parents' bed many times.
oh my God.
I had this bottle of this terrible lube. It was like KY lube from CVS. It was like right after I lost my virginity. I was fucking this one guy like a lot in my parents' room because my room was like too childish. I was like, I don't want to look at that while I'm having sex. And one time I left the lube in there and I lost it. And then after that, my parents started locking their door like every day. So I knew that they knew, and I was just like,
I've only had sex in my parents' bed once, and it's like since becoming an adult. It was actually not even that long ago. And I have to say, like, that doesn't turn me on at all. I'm like,
no, it wasn't about turning me on. It was just about not being embarrassed
a mean
in
squint
my childish room.
Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this is the final question. And you mentioned communication earlier, and obviously in an ideal sexual scenario, both partners are comfortable communicating anything they have to, but also that's not always the case.
No, never.
So this person, very often that isn't the case actually. This person asks, how can I tell my girlfriend that when she gives me a hand job, it hurts? This is a sweet guy. Like I think he's asking because he probably doesn't want to hurt her feelings.
Yeah, you don't want to hurt her feelings. You don't want to say, if you say it in the wrong way, it could come across as like, babe, you suck at hand jobs. And that's a huge blow. Telling someone that they're bad at sex in any way is like a blow to their morale. There's just something different than saying like you suck at sports. It's like, because you're being vulnerable. You're putting yourself out there. I would say the next time she's giving you a shitty hand job, why don't you be like, hey, can you put it in your mouth or something like that, and get it kind of wet, because she's probably hurting you because there's too much friction, because there's not enough lubrication. And of course, like, you need spit, or sometimes you need some lube or coconut oil. There's nothing. A lot of people get weird about lube because they think like you're supposed to be naturally wet, but like obviously hand jobs are not naturally, it's your hand doesn't get wet. So, I would say don't even like say anything about it. Maybe just guide her in the right direction. And then if that still doesn't work, then, cross that bridge when you get there. But most people are really like, what is the word? Reciprocative? Like
receptive?
Yeah, I'm stupid. Receptive of like, direction and sex. If they just want to make you feel good, they will do whatever it takes. You just have to be honest and open.
I think, like I definitely agree with everything you said. And I think, it's kind of like with anytime you communicate, I think in a relationship, like it's better received, like you said, when you say it not in a way like you're bad at this, or the way you're doing it hurts me, or like saying it negatively. I think, like you said, it's better to like just push them to do it better. So like, instead of even mentioning anything about like they're hurting you, maybe be like, like, oh, I really like it when you do it like this, or like
Yeah.
that one time for 1 second you did it like this and it felt amazing. Can we keep doing it like that?
Positive reinforcement. It's the same, like, I'm training my puppy and he's sleeping right now. But
Wait, can we see him?
yeah, he's sleeping now.
Scout, right?
Scout. Hi, Scout.
I follow him on
Oh, you woke up. You woke up, you little baby boy.
Is he a golden doodle?
He is a cockapoo. Look at the little baby. Ooh, you cover his pee-pee. Yeah. So that's Scout. I'm like
Swipe up for that.
yeah. What was I gonna say? But it's like when you're training a dog, it's like, you know, if he pees, if I catch him in the act of peeing, I can stop him and then he understands that it's not normal what he was just doing. But if he already did it, he doesn't remember, like, it's like that. Like, it's a 1 second.
Yeah, no, there's never a point in like punishing anyone for doing something that they thought feels good to you. Like, there's no point. Like,
just tell them what they're doing right, and then they will continue to do that right thing instead of saying what they're doing wrong.
Yeah.
It'll just, you know, take their morale down.
Yeah. Also, like, I think we like, I don't know how we could achieve this, but like I think as like a society, we really need to like start normalizing communicating like how we want our bodies to be touched. Like,
I completely
shouldn't be this awkward thing. Like how many times have I like had my pussy eaten for like 20 minutes and the whole time I'm like, this is horrible, but I sort of hurt the guy's ego, you know?
Same.
So
100% same, because then it's like they
who am I
get in
doing
their
that
head.
for? Nobody wins there.
Nobody wins, and it's like sometimes I feel like if I say something in a situation like that, it's like science. Like, if their brain and their dick are not on the same wavelength, it's like, especially for a scene, it's like you could ruin an entire day of production. If their dick doesn't work, if there's no cum shot, it's stupid that it's like that, but like, you can't do a scene like that, even if you're completely ready. So sometimes you just want to let the guy do his thing to make it easier. But in an ideal world, I would be able to say like, hey, like, could you maybe try it more like that? And they wouldn't like get butthurt about it or like feel
I read this like piece that I don't know if you know this girl named she goes by Stripper Writer on Instagram, but like she writes some like really cool things, and like one thing she wrote about was like, we have no problem being like, hey, it's so hot in here, can you turn the air on? Or like, we have no problem communicating about how our body feels when it's not sexual.
yeah.
Why is it so awkward when it's sex related? But I guess that's everything else. Like,
It's everything that's
everything.
sex related is like weird for people. Like, people would be like, oh, porn addiction ruined my life, blah blah blah, and I'm like, okay, but so can alcohol addiction, so can drug addiction, so can food addiction cause obesity. And it's like, just because porn is your particular thing that causes you to be in an addictive state, it's not inherently bad
now than any of the other addictions.
But because it's like sexual, people think that it's like, oh, this must be the cause because it's sexual, it's like demonic or something. I'm like, not everything sexual is inherently bad for you or wrong.
Yeah. Well,
or taboo.
On that note, subscribe to our pages.
Yeah, please do. Funny.
So that was our last question, but I want to let people know where they can see you and see your porn and all of that.
Thanks, Asa. So my Instagram account that I'm streaming from right now is my main account, and I have a backup account that is called Princess Jane Wilde, and I don't have any other Instagram accounts other than that. Obviously, Scout Wilde. That's not my account. Yes. Scout is, he runs his own account. He tells me what to put in the caption. So it's not mine. But my Twitter is Jane Wilde XXX, and my OnlyFans is, you see my name, Wild Sexual, wildsexual.com. That's my OnlyFans. And
that's Wild with an E.
With an E at the end of Wild, like it says right there. If you can't figure it out, then that sucks. But please subscribe to my OnlyFans. I post, if you are not into like the amateurish type stuff and you want to see like, I have like some pretty good high quality pro shot scenes on there where I do like anal DP, like all types of stuff and goodies. So check it out on there. You can chat with me.
How did you pick the name Jane?
I don't know. I wanted something simple and
It's
like
like the
elegant.
least likely porn name,
I know
Jane.
exactly. I wanted simple and elegant, and I couldn't think of any other Janes. There's a lot of like, Laurens or like Ashleys, and I wanted to be unique. There's
Yeah.
no other Jane Wilde in porn. There is, oh, I don't even want to talk about this right now, but there's someone who like has a very similar name to me that just started, and
Oh my God, you've made it.
yeah,
That
I
means you've made it.
guess like somebody copied my name and she followed. I knew that she knew who I was because I looked at her Twitter and she followed me already. So I was like, you know who I am.
It's the
Why would you
ultimate
pick
compliment.
that?
It's the ultimate compliment, I
Like,
think. I know
yes.
I know what you mean. It's annoying.
Yeah.
Also, it hasn't happened to me yet, so I'm
Yeah, I
like,
mean, that would be the ult. Like, no one would take the name Asa.
no, it's also my real name. So
Yeah,
it's like
your real
not
name's
even
Asa Akira?
like no one. No, the Akira part's fake, but Asa's
Okay.
my real name, and like it's a really rare name, even
It's
in Japan.
rare.
Yeah,
Well, that's awesome. And yeah, I picked Jane just
I'm
because
waiting, guys.
it
So
was elegant. You're waiting for someone to do it? No, I don't think anyone will. No one would have like the nerve, honestly, because you're a legend, and it's one thing if it's like a mid tier. That's so rude to say mid tier, but like someone who's not super famous, but then like you're so famous, it would be so
no, I think it's
obvious.
the ultimate compliment. Like I when the day that it happens, I'll be thrilled. Actually,
Will you really?
yeah,
Yeah, maybe if I wasn't like performing actively, I wouldn't care as much. I'd be like, "Do you?" But
yeah,
it's the fact that like we're in the same industry. I'm
yeah.
performing, you're performing.
It's
Like,
confusing
why?
market.
Yeah, it's confusing. Like
I
when
get it.
people are tagging stuff, and I'm just like, people have mislabeled me as the name that she picked, like before in
You know
DB.
why I like your name so much too? Is like I think it's really cool. Like it's such a not an oxymoron, but it's like so juxtaposed. Like the name Jane is like you think
Yeah,
like plain Jane, like the most simple name in the
it's
world, but
simple,
then wild.
exactly. And wild, that's what I wanted. I picked wild first. I was like, I love that it's wild, like crazy and cool, but I wanted it to be spelt like a real name, like Olivia Wilde was my
Yeah,
inspo. And then I picked Jane, and I was like, Jane. And I couldn't think of any other porn star with that name. And I was like, I
yeah.
just love how it sounds. There was a character on Degrassi named Jane who I really liked a lot, and it just seemed perfect for me. But little did I know that Jane Wilde was the name of Stephen Hawking's wife. And that would make,
What?
yeah, Jane Wilde Hawking. And that would make my search engine optimability, whatever the
Yeah, yeah,
fuck,
yeah.
so bad. So
I didn't know
bad.
that.
I didn't either. Now I do. Because I tried searching myself. I'm like, who's this bitch? Oh,
You know what's my favorite fact like that? Did you know that? I mean, obviously, do you know who Tara Patrick is?
yes.
So, did you know that Tara Patrick is Carmen Electra's real name?
No, I didn't know that.
I don't know if that's why she chose it, but I remember learning that on Howard Stern. Like,
It could be it could be just a coincidence.
mm-hmm.
Well, what's funny is like Angela White is
Mm-hmm.
Angela White's real name, but Angela White is also Black China's real name. So
Yeah.
Black China tried to trademark Angela
Yeah.
White, and they were like, no,
No.
too late.
I love that.
And I love that too, because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, the person who uses the name professionally and it's their real name should have the rights to it.
Well, the
In my
same thing
opinion.
Spiegler has told you, but Spiegler represented a girl named Cindy Crawford, and Cindy Crawford's model tried to sue her,
Yeah.
but it was her real name too.
Oh wow, you can't.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
awesome though that her real name was Cindy Crawford. I would, if that was my real name, I would totally use that as my porn name. Like, how could you not? Sometimes I kind of wish I used my real first name because it's really cool and unique. But one day
I find that the girls with the most unique names pick the plainest
the
name,
most generic names, and it's
like Sarah or Jessica.
Sarah, Jessica, Jessica, Sarah. You never know. It could be either. Both of those girls could join porn tomorrow.
Yeah. I always think if I were white, I would have wanted my porn name to be Alabama, like from the character from True Romance.
Alabama.
Yeah. I think that would have been a really good, like maybe
Yeah.
Alabama Triple X or something.
Yeah, I think when people are like obsessed with race and ethnicity in porn because it's a fetish at the end of the
Yeah.
day, and if you're racially or ethnically ambiguous and they can't tell, and especially if your porn name does not point to it, they
Uh-huh.
get so like uptight about it. They're like, "So where are you
Oh,
from? What's your ethnicity?" Because your name is so white,
yeah.
but you don't look white, and it's just
Well,
like,
yeah. I mean, like,
relax,
think about like
relax.
every Asian girl in porn has an Asian name, even if their real
Yeah.
life name is like Katrina
Katrina or something
Simpson.
super generic, but
Yeah,
I think
their
it
porn name will be
helps.
like Jade Chang, or I mean, I don't know. I just made that up, but like
Yeah, but
something very
yeah,
Asian.
it's like, but I feel like it helps because at the end of the day, um, people when they're looking for stuff to jerk off to, they're not like gonna think super hard about it. They're like, "Ooh, I want an Asian girl," and then they see, "Oh, that's an Asian name."
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Click.
mm-hmm.
It's like
Yeah,
it's not like a huge thought process, but that's my opinion.
yeah.
I don't search people based on race because
Wait, what are you?
I am Caucasian, American, Jewish. I wish
You
I was something
like
else.
some kind of mixed.
Thank you.
Right.
It's because
Maybe just because I know you're from New York, I assumed you were like part Puerto Rican.
I wish I was part Puerto Rican because then I would have some more culture in me. I like being Jewish, but like my parents and my grandparents are all American. And then before that, it's like, Soviet Union, Polish, Austrian, just all these like European.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant because we came to America at the beginning of 1900s, and then since then it's like American, New York. New
Yay.
York is my culture. That's what I
Yeah.
tell people.
All right. Well, Jane, thank you so much for joining us
Thanks
on
for
this
having
Labor
me.
Day weekend.
It was so fun. I really
It was good
enjoyed
to
this
see you.
convo. Good to see you too, Asa.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right, talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.
What the heck? Okay. All right, everyone. That was Jane Wilde. That's spelt Wild with an E at the end, and her Instagram account is at Wild with an E sexual underscore. I will be joined next week by Domino Presley. And we will be answering your sex questions. I'll put out a call for questions on this account, on the Pornhub account, probably like a day or two before we go live. So please look out for that. And then this week I'll be live with the Claremont twins for 7 Minutes in Heaven. So I'll see you then. And I hope you enjoy your Labor Day. Bye.